Consequences Creed is flashy, he's exciting, and he's fun. I do enjoy this guy, but again, he's another talent who's being buried by an excess of talent. He's been teaming up with Jay Lethal, but the X Division almost has too many faces. Perhaps if Creed himself turned heel, he'd get further. Right now, he's going to stay where he is, and I think that's a shame because he's so talented and he has so much potential. Eric Young is a great talent. He's a high flyer, he's fast, and he has a certain level of charisma. Sadly, he also seems to be getting lost in a shuffle. I enjoyed the comedy of when he was teamed up with Curryman and Shark Boy. Since that disintegrated, he's sort of lost and has been bouncing around. This is a kid with a bright future in the business. He possesses great technical skill. I think sometime in the future you can expect to see big things out of him, although I don't view him as a world title contender. More than likely, the X Division title will be his pinnacle. Homicide and Hernandez comprise the tag team LAX. LAX are really just a hard-working tag team. They aren't much on the mic, and even after their achievements at Feast or Fired, they haven't really gone anywhere. We saw some singles work from them, but they are much better as a tag team, and I think that's where they should stay. If for aesthetic purposes only, I hated seeing them lose Shelly Martinez as their manager. She sort of reminded me of Lita also. I would say these guys will hold the tag titles again sometime in the future, but I don't see much ahead of them in the singles department. Though many people would say he's stuck with a goofy gimmick, I kinda like the idea of Jay Lethal as a black macho man, or black machismo as he's called. This guy's fast, he's skilled, and he's yet another reason why the X Division is so incredible in TNA. This is the right way to use comic relief. Not only is he funny, but he can wrestle his ass off. I really enjoyed his feud with Sanjay Dutt over SoCal Val, although that was a while ago. Being teamed up with Consequences Creed is a great idea. These two complement each other so well. All in all, Lethal is worth watching and definitely an up-and-comer in the business. Jeff Jarrett is the founder and owner of TNA as well as one of its top stars. One thing I have to say is I really respect him for not carrying the belt and being able to step out of the spotlight, whereas a lot of people in this business, in his position, would book themselves at the top even if they shouldn't be. Jarrett has shown resilience and courage returning after taking time off following the tragic passing of his wife. One place where I disagree with Jeff is allowing that to become part of his storyline with Kurt Angle. If that were my wife, work or not, I would not allow someone to talk about her at all. However, Jarrett seems pretty business savvy, and hey, let's not forget, this guy's an amazing wrestler. He has truly evolved since his days as Double J, and I for one must admit, I'm a fan of the King of the Mountain. What exactly happened to Karen Angle? For a while there, she was involved with the storyline that started the feud between AJ Styles and Kurt. Then she gets a talk show on Impact, and then her and Kurt get a divorce in real life, and she's removed from the talent roster. Shortly after, she's placed back on the talent roster, but no one's seen her since. Honestly, how did Kurt ever land a chick this hot in the first place? I think she's a little too hot for him. So maybe she doesn't have a place in the industry, and maybe she doesn't deserve to be on this list. Maybe I just like looking at these photos. Kevin Nash is in a similar boat to Sting. He's getting up there in age, and his work is really starting to show it. He can't do half of what he used to be able to do. He walks around the ring as if he's out of gas, and frankly, he's becoming a bit boring. I don't find myself thrilled by watching a dude with gray hair try to out-wrestle a young kid. His place in the main event mafia is probably the only thing keeping him afloat right now. It's hard for me to say this. I was a big fan of Diesel, and I was a big fan of Nash when he joined the NWO. But you need to know when to stop, and it appears as if he doesn't. I don't really find myself interested in his matches anymore. The pace is just too slow for me. Sorry, Kev. Maybe you can change my mind in '09. Not a whole lot to say about Kip James. He hasn't done much since he joined the Beautiful People. Frankly, I don't know why this guy's still on TNA. Exactly what purpose does he serve other than aiding the Beautiful People in their matches? Yet another guy whose time in the limelight is up. Don't get me wrong, he's still a good worker, but if this is the only bone they're going to throw him, I don't think it's going to last. Kurt Angle is probably the best performer in all of TNA, on the mic and in the ring. He is the total package and the best heel they have. If the title belt is going to be on a member of the main event mafia, it should be on him. Though I might not like his persona, I can't argue with his talent. This guy is a truckload. Given the right opponent, he could really tear the roof off an arena and is probably the best acquisition, next to Mick Foley, that TNA has made in the past couple of years. Rumors are circulating that he's going to be leaving TNA to either follow hopes of an MMA career or possibly returning to the WWE. For TNA's sake, I certainly hope that's not true. I really love the way they've turned him around, especially considering how WWE made him into a fool towards the end. Superb wrestler, excellent talent, really the shining star of TNA. The Blueprint, Matt Morgan. Great look, great style. I love to see a big man jumping around and throwing those kicks. He's got a little bit of flash in his ring work. Not enough to reach superstar status, but enough to get himself a push. I'm really interested in seeing where his feud with Abyss will progress. I'd love to see that end in a 6 sides of steel. Overall, he's an above-average competitor. He could make a run for a title based purely on his size, but I don't ever see him really wearing the strap. The hardcore legend Mick Foley, as Mike TNA calls him. Tremendous catch for TNA. I love seeing him in his little role as the Commissioner of Impact. He adds the right degree of humor and excitement. He made his debut in the ring last month, and for someone who hasn't laced up the boots in a while, he did quite well. I suppose once you have it, you never lose it. Foley is a future Hall of Famer and a living legend. He brings a certain level of respectability to TNA, and having put him on their roster, I'd be willing to bet the ratings have increased. If not permanently, then for at least a little while there. What can you say about him that hasn't already been said? He's one of the best, and again, TNA are very lucky to have him. ODB is the one knockout who can put up a real fight against Awesome Kong. These two should have a feud going, and it should last for quite a while. Her in-ring work is solid, her mic skills are great, she's funny and dirty and bitchy. I suppose she lives up to her name. Certainly one of the best knockouts. I like to watch her wrestle, I find her matches exciting. Even if her match doesn't get you that pumped up, her entrance probably does. She sure has a lot of energy. She's very unique. It's not often that you see a female wrestler who looks normal, not a supermodel and not a huge tank. I think that alone speaks volumes about her capabilities as a wrestler. Raisha Saeed is mostly known for being Awesome Kong's mouthpiece, although she does from time to time step in to the ring. For those of you who are unaware, Raisha is played by an accomplished and well-known indie wrestler who goes by the name of Cheerleader Melissa. You wouldn't know it, but under that burqa is a pretty good-looking woman. I have to say I'm a fan of Raisha Saeed, even though we don't see her perform in a ring too often. She possesses tremendous ability, and it's a shame for it to be wasted by just being a manager. She's talented and a hard worker, and I hope over time she steps into the 6-sided ring a lot more often so she can realize her full potential. Raka Khan is kinda scary. She looks like the type of woman who could chew the paint off an iron rod. In the ring, she's awesome, a real badass. She's got major skill and obviously an incredible look. I do enjoy watching her toss the other knockouts around the ring, and despite her slim size, her power display is believable because frankly, she looks a little crazy. I think that she's definitely going to go somewhere.